Hello, today we will learn Math 125 Intermediate Algebra, Chapter 8, Homework Examples. Examples of Chapter 8, Homework. First question, solve the following quadratic equation for the x. A, this 36x squared minus 12 equals 0. It's your homework question. So my example here, example, it's 9x squared minus 6 equals 0. This one, solve for the x. So this question you can do, it's move the constant term to the right, add 6 both sides. So you got, it's 9x squared equals 6. And then divided by 9. Divided by 9. 9 cancel. So you will get x squared equal 9 over 6. Then take square root. So get x equal positive net square root of 6 over 9. And then x equal to positive negative. Then 6 take square root, just square root of 6. 9 is a 3 square, take square root, it's a 3. So that's answer. Then another example. Let's see this example. 25 x squared equal 15. Also do the same way, you divide by 25 on the left and right. 25 cancel. So you will get x squared equal 15 over 25. Then take square root, and you will get either positive or negative. Square root of 15 over 25. Then x equal to positive negative. 15 take square root is still square root of 15. 25, it's a 5 squared, is 25. Take square root, it's a 5. So that's the answer. And that's the A, example for A. Then example for B. B. This one, 7x. This is your homework question. So I'm put this example. Example is write down that example. Example for your homework question number 1B. Number 1B is 6x times x minus 2 minus x times x minus 2 equal to 15. So then, first of all, we can factor out the common factor, x minus 2. Or you distribute it in, remove the parentheses. Either way. So let's do one way. It's a common factor, x minus 2, factor out. And this take out x minus 2. So still have 6x and minus x equal to 15. Then x minus 2, 6x minus x is a 5x equal to 15. Then we can reduce 5 divided by 5. 5 cancel. Common factor 5. So get x minus 2 times x equals 15 divided by 5. It's a 3. Now then we remove the parentheses, distribute it in. Got x squared minus 2x. Then this 3, minus 3 both sides. So become minus 3 equals 0. And then we can factor this one. Factor this. We can factor, because the leading coefficient is 1. So x squared separate 1x, 1x. Negative 3. We need two numbers tying together. Equals negative 3, add together equal negative 2. So then will be 3 and 1. Since negative 3, so need to put one positive, one negative. If I put this one, then 3x add the negative x is positive 2x. We want minus 2x. So we will change negative minus 3, positive 1, minus 3, positive 1. And then you check it. First term product, x squared, x times x. Outer term product, positive 1x, minus 3x. Combined, it's minus 2x. And last term product, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So this is equivalent to the origin to this previous one. And then use a zero factor property. So either first factor x minus 3 equals 0, or the second factor x plus 1 equals 0, then this add 3 both sides, so x equals 3, or this minus 1 both sides, so you get x equal 1. So, and here, over here, you also can do the other way. You can use distributive property, distributive in. You will get 6x squared minus 12x. 6x times negative 2 is minus 12x. Then minus x times x is x squared. And then minus times together is a positive 2x. Then equal 15. From here, 6x squared minus x squared, it's 5x squared. And the negative 12x add 2x is minus 10x. Then you minus 15 both sides. So this 15 move to the left. Change the sign. And then you common factor 5. So both sides divided by 5. Both sides divided by 5. So we'll get 5x squared divided by 5 is x squared. Minus 10x divided by 5 is 2x. Minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. 0 divided by 5 is 0. So you will get this one is same as here. Same as here. They are same thing. So from here, and then you go factor, then you got solution 3 negative 1. So this question you can first kind method, you factor out the common factor x minus 2. Then times in, you will get. Second method, you remove the parentheses first. Distributive in, remove the parentheses, combine like term, and put down in the standard form. Then next one, another example for question 1b, another example. Question 1b, another example, it's 9x, 2x plus 3, and minus 5x times quantity 2x plus 3 equal to 36. So here also have a common factor 2x plus 3. Factor out, become 2x plus 3. Then 9x minus 5x equal 36. Then 2x plus 3 quantity. 9x minus 5x, it's times 4x equal 36. Then cancel, divided by common factor 4. Divided by 4 on the left and the right. 4 cancel. And then distributive in. 2x times x is 2x squared plus 3x equal 36 over 4. It's a 9. Then minus 9 on left and the right. Minus 9 both sides. So you got 2x squared plus 3x minus 9 equals 0. Then factor this one. Since the 2, we can factor as 2 times 1 or 1 times 2. You put on the first column. And the negative 9, you can put a negative 3 times positive 3. It's a negative 9. if you put this way, you cross multiplication, 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times -3 is -3. Add together is 3, positive 3. So x term coefficient is positive 3. So this way is right. Then you attach x, put the parentheses. So factor is 2x minus 3, x plus 3 equals 0. You can check it. First term product, 2x times x, 2x squared. Outer term product, which is this one, 2x times x is 2x squared. That's the first term product. Then outer term product, 2x times 3. This 2x times 3 is 6x. Inner term product, -3 times x is -3x. Add together is 3x, is the middle term, 3x. Then last term product, -3 times 3, like this, -3 times 3 is -9. So the two are equivalent. Now then use zero factor property, either 2x minus 3 equals 0 or x plus 3 equals 0. And then this add 3 both sides. So get 2x equals 3 and this minus 3 both sides. So you get x equal -3. That's one solution. And this divided by 2 both sides. 2 cancel. So you get x equals 3 over 2. That's another solution. That's two solutions. So this is a factor out the common factor 2x plus 3. And the other way you can do is just distributive in, and combine like term. And finally, you also will get this one, and then factor it. That's question 1b. Example. Then 1c example. 1c example. This one is your question 1c here. X squared plus 4x plus 7 equals 0. I'm going to use this example to do this example. It's example for question 1c. It's x squared plus 4x plus 7 equals 0. X squared plus 4x plus 7 equals 0. Now 7 is 7 times 1, and you won't get 4. You need two numbers tied together is 7. The two numbers add together equal 4. But since this one cannot be factored, so we are going to use the quadratic formula. Now quadratic formula, it's x equals 2a negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Quadratic formula. For the equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This equation. So for this question, a is 1. And the b is 4. B is 4. C is 7. C is 7. Then we plug into the quadratic formula. So we got x equals 2 times 1. A is 1. And the net b is 4 plus minus square root of b squared. 4 squared minus 4 times a is 1. C is 7 for AC. Then figure out this, is simplify it. So this is 2, negative 4 plus minus square root of 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 1 times 7 is 28. Then equals 2, negative 4, positive negative. Square root of 16 minus 28 is negative 12. And the negative 12, it's going to be square root of 4 times 3 times negative 1. Then separate, take square root. So you got it's 2, negative 4 plus minus 4 take square root is 2. 3 take square root is still square root of 3. Negative 1 take square root is I. Then negative 4 divided by 2. Cancel common factor 2, get negative 2 plus 2 square root of 3i divided by 2, cancel 2, get square root of 3i. So this is a complex number as solutions because here it's negative 12. In this we call b squared minus 4ac. If a negative is going to be negative sign changed to I. Square root of 12. 12 is 4 times 3. Take square root is 2 square root of 3. This negative sign is negative 1. Take square root. It's I. I, imaginary number, is defined equal square root of negative 1. So negative 1, this negative 1 take square root, it's I. So the direct way is this negative sign you just take out, become I. And 12 is 4 times 3. So 4 take square root is 2. 3 take square root is still square root of 3. And then this need to be reduced. Each negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. 2 square root of 3i divided by 2, get 2 cancel, get square root of 3i. So it's 2 complex number. One is negative 2, add square root of 3i. The second one is negative 2 minus square root of 3i. If this b squared minus 4ac under radical is negative, going to be 2 complex number as a solution. Then next one is question 1c, an example. Then D. Question 1D. D. Your homework question is this one. And then example. Example, it's question 1D. Example, it's ax minus 3 equal to x squared. So this, first of all, we have to write in the standard form of the quadratic equation. Quadratic equation standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. All the term on one side, the other side is 0. So in order, I want to keep leading coefficient is positive, so I minus ax. Cancel, add 3, add 3. So become this side, which is move over, change the sign, got negative. Negative 3, move over, change the sign, become plus. And so left side is 0 equals 2x squared minus ax plus 3. And then rewrite is 2x squared minus ax plus 3 equals 0. Now you can, first of all, you try to factor it. So 2 is 2 times 1. 3 is 3 times 1. You can put negative is a positive 3. Cross multiplication, negative 6, add negative 1, which is negative 7. And then the x term is negative 8. Coefficient is negative 8. It's not negative 7. So this is not right. Now you can try many. Try like a negative 3, negative 1. And then cross multiplication, you got negative 5. It's not negative 8 either. So this question, you cannot factor it. And since it cannot be factored, so we use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, a equal 2, b equal negative 8, c equals 3, and plug in into the formula. The formula is x equals 2a negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. So we got x equals 2 times 2. A is 2. Negative b, b is a negative 8. So you need to put the parenthesis, negative 8 in the parenthesis, plus square root of, you need to put the parenthesis, b is a negative 8 squared minus 4, a is 2, c is 3. So then equals, and 2 times 2 is 4, and the negative 8 is positive 8, plus minus negative 8 squared is 64, minus 4 times 2 times 3 is 24. Then simplify. So get 4, 8 plus minus square root of 40. And 40 is 4 times 10. So it's a positive negative. And 4 times 10. Square root of 4 times 10. And 4 you can square root out. So you got it's 4, 8 plus minus 2 square root of 10. 2 square root of 10. Then divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 plus minus 2 square root of 10 divided by 4. Each term divided by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2 plus minus, and this cancel 2. Cancel common factor 2. So you got a square root of 10 over 2. That's solution. The two solution. This b squared minus 4ac. This we call discriminant. Discriminant. This part. b squared minus 4ac. This part. Discriminant. This part. You figure out this and figure out this and got it's a positive 40. And positive 40 is not perfect square number. It's positive. If the discriminant b squared minus 4ac is a positive, there are two real numbers as a solution. Now, if this is completing square, then you can remove this radical. Then the solution is a fraction. We call two rational solution. Now, this is not completing square, so your answer with the radical. With the radical, we call irrational number. So these two are real number, but because real number including rational number and the irrational number. Rational number is like a fraction. Irrational number is a number with radicals. So this is two irrational number as a solution. Then next one is another example. It's your homework question 1D example. 1D example here. Example is this one. 2x plus 1 equal to x squared. So this I'm going to do become the standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then we can either factor it. If it can be factored, we factor it. If it cannot be factored, you use quadratic formula. So we have to make all the term on one side. So I move to the right side, change the sign. 2x squared, 2x move, become minus 2x. Positive 1 move, become minus 1. Equal. The left side is 0. And put this form. And then you look at whether we can factor it. Since 2 is 2 times 1. Negative 1 is negative 1 times positive 1. If you put this way, you cross multiplication is 2. Add negative 1, which is positive 1. And we want is negative 2. Negative 2x. Negative 2. Coefficient negative 2. So this is not. Then you can try another one, like 2 times 1. You can switch positive 1, negative 1. Then you will get negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1. It's not either. So this one, you try it, and you can see it's not factorable. It cannot be factored. If it cannot be factored, and use quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, first of all, a is what? A is 2. And b is negative 2, c is negative 1, and plug into the formula. So x equals 2a, 2 times 2, negative. And this, you need to put the parentheses. b is negative 2 plus minus square root of. Put the parentheses, b squared. This put the parentheses. b is negative 2 square minus 4a is 2. C is negative 1 for AC. Plug it into the formula. So you got equals 2 times 2 is 4. Negative times negative is positive 2. And plus minus square root of negative 2 square is a positive 4. And the negative times negative become plus. 4 times 2, it's 8. So then equals 4, 2 plus minus square root of 12. And that is equal to 4, 2 positive negative square root of 12 is 4 times 3. And 4 we can square root out. So you got is 4, 2 plus minus 2 square root of 3. Then you can cancel common factor 2. 2 factor out, get 1 plus minus square root of 3 over 4. Then cancel common factor 2. Cancel common factor 2. Then you will get equals to 1 plus minus square root of 3. So this also 2 irrational number as solutions, since here discriminant is not completing square number. Perfect square number like 9 is 3 square, 16 is 4 square, 25 is 5 square. So 9, 16, 25, that's we call perfect square number. But 12 is not a number, not a whole number square. So you will, with this square root of 3, and square root of 3 is an irrational number. So this with the square root of 3, irrational number, it's a 2 irrational number as solutions. Then next question is the first question is solve for the quadratic equation. Mostly are using quadratic formula. Then second question, find out the second question is let given a function, that's your homework question, find all the x such that f of x equals 0. So I give you one example here. This is question 2. Example like given function g of x is ax squared plus 2x minus 15. And we are going to do is find all the x such that find all x such that g of x equals 0, function value equals 0. So how to do? You just let g of x equals 0, let ax squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Now then you can be factored. First of all, you try factoring. If cannot be factored, use quadratic formula. Now if you don't know how to factor, you can still use quadratic formula to solve it. Any question, any quadratic equation, you always can use quadratic formula to solve it. Even can be factored. You can use quadratic formula to get the solutions. So 8 you can factor as 1 times 8, 2 times 4. So try the two number close to each other first. Try 2 times 4 or 4 times 2 first. 15 you can put down 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. So you can put 5 times 3, the number closer to each other first. And since it's negative, so you put one negative, one positive. One negative, one positive, and try it. Then cross multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Combine is 2, positive 2. So this x term is positive 2. So this is the right one. Right one. Then you attach x. Because this is come from 4 times 2 is 8. Come from x squared. So separate. Then put the parentheses. That's the factor of this. So this is 4x minus 5, 2x plus 3 equals 0. If you can double check. First term product, 4 times 2 is 8, x times x squared. Outer term product, 4x times 3 is 12x, 4x times 3 is 12x. Inner term product, negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Combined is the middle term, 2x. Last term product, negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. So they are equivalent. Then use zero factor property. Either 4x minus 5 equals 0 or 2x plus 3 equals 0. Then add 5 both sides. Get 4x equal 5. or minus 3 both sides. So you got 2x equal negative 3. Then this divided by 4. Divided by 4. And so get x equal 5 over 4. Or this divided by 2. So you get x equal negative 3 over 2. So what is the x make g of x equals 0? Function value equals 0, which is 5 over 4. Or negative 3 over 2. Two number make function value equals 0. 5 over 4, you plug in x. Value is 0. Function value is 0. And the negative 3 over 2. And you will plug into original function in x. Figure out is also 0. Question 2 and another example. Another example. Question 2. Example. It's here. Another example here. This one. It's 14x squared minus 3x plus 27. I let that is h of x. So given h of x function is name is h. H of x equal 14x squared minus 3x plus 27. And question is find all the x such that h of x equals 0. So you just let this h of x equals 0. In other words, is 14x squared plus 3x plus 20 equals 0. And solve for the x. Question can be factored. You factor it. Cannot be factored. Use the quadratic formula. So you will try. 14. 14 is 1 times 14 or 2 times 7. So try 2 times 7. The two numbers closer to each other first. 27, you can factor as 9 times 3 or 1 times 27. So try 9 times 3. The two numbers closer to each other first. And since this is a plus 27, should be minus 27. Okay, minus 27. Minus 27. Here should be minus 27. Otherwise, you cannot do, you cannot factor it. So it has to be minus 27. Yeah, minus 27. So here, 3 times 9, 1 positive, 1 negative. If you put this way, positive, negative, then cross multiply. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. 2 times 9 is a positive 18. Add together is negative 3. And that is the external coefficient is negative 3. So this is right. So then attach x. Attach x and put the parenthesis. So factor is 2x minus 3 and times 7x plus 9 equals 0. Then use zero factor property, which is what is zero factor property? Is if two factor a and b times together equals 0, if and only if either a equals 0 or b equals 0 or both are 0. So if two factor one times together equals 0, must be one of it equals 0 or both are 0, because both non-zero times together will not be 0. Must one of it equals 0 or the other one equals 0 or both are 0. So then this add 3 both sides. So 2x equals 3 or minus 9 both sides. Get 7x equal negative 9. Then divided by 2, get x equals 3 over 2 or x equals negative 9 over 7. And that's the x. Make the function value h of x equals 0. 3 over 2, you plug into original functions. X substitute by 3 over 2, if you figure out, will be 0. Because we let equals 0 and find out the x. Then next one is fill in the blank. This question 3. Question 3 here. Replace the blanks with a constant to form a true equation. And this is your homework question. Question 3, example, like here, this one. X squared minus ax plus what become a x minus x what square. Fill in the blank. X minus. So example. Question 3, example, x squared minus ax add what? And we'll make quantity x minus what? Square. So this we call use the completing square formula. Completing square formula is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared equals a minus b quantity square. Since here minus, so here use minus. So according to this, a is x minus 2 times a is x, b is x, b is what? A divided by 2 is 4. Because 2 times x times 4 equal ax. Equal. And the plus what? B. B is what? B is 4. So 4 square. B square. 4 square. So you fill in 16. This is a 4 square. And should be equals x minus b. B is 4 square. So then here, fill in the blank. You cannot just put 4 square. You have to 4 square figure out is 16. Put 16. And then here is 4. Fill in. So actually is a divided by 2, get 4. And square it, get 16. And b. B, how we get the b is a divided by 2. It's 4. 4 is the b. Plug into the b. So another example, like example, question 3, example, is x squared plus 5x plus 4 plus what equal x plus what quantity square. This example. So use the same formula. The formula is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared equals a plus b quantity square. So this formula, if a plus, here's a plus, then here has to be plus. Now, like a previous question, if here's minus in here formula, here should be minus. So how we figure out the b? B actually is this 5 divided by 2. It's b. So like this is x plus 2 times x times 5x divided by 2. 5 divided by 2 is 5 over 2. You cancel it. Cancel is the same as 5x. This 3 times together, cancel 2 is the same as 5x. And your plus, this is the put in b. 5 over 2 squared. So the a is x plus 2 times a is x times b is 5 over 2 plus b is 5 over 2 squared. And you can try this time together. 2 cancel is the same as 5x. Then plus a is x plus b is 5 over 2. 5 over 2 quantity square. So you fill in the blank. This one square. 5 square, 25. 2 square, 4. And then this is 5 over 2. Fill in the blank. So actually is 5 divided by 2, get 5 over 2. Get the b. And the square it is this, the constant term. Question 3. Then next one, question 4. Question 4, homework. Determine how many solutions, 1 solution or 2 solution or no solution, number of solution, and type of the solution of the quadratic equation. Type means a real number or complex number, or in the real number also separate into 2 kinds. One is a rational number and the other one is irrational number. So there's a general form. Now let's put general form. If a x squared plus b x plus c equals 0, quadratic equation, solve for the quadratic equation, no matter can be factor or cannot be factor, you always can use quadratic formula will get the solutions. If you don't know how to factor it, you can plug into this formula. You still get the solution. If it can be factored, you still can use quadratic formula to solve it. And this part, b squared minus 4ac, under this square root, we call discriminant, called discriminant. We use delta represent. Delta equals b squared minus 4ac, and separate into three cases. One is greater than 0, one is equal 0, one is less than 0. And greater than 0 is two real solution. If a positive, have two real numbers as solutions, and also separate into 2. Now, if it is if delta is a perfect square number, then is a rational, two rational number as solutions. If this delta, if this b squared minus 4ac is not perfect square number, then will be two irrational solutions. So depend on, if a positive, then is a two real number. The real number including rational number and the irrational number. If this b squared minus 4ac we call delta, discriminant. If it is a completing square number like 25, you can square root out. And like 49, you can take square root out. Then there are no more square root, no more radical. And that is a two rational solution, like a fraction. And if it's not perfect squares, that means you cannot square root out, or you just partially square root out and still has radicals. That is, with the radical we call irrational number. It's going to be two irrational solutions. Now, if equals 0, if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, then you will not have this part. And plus 0 minus 0 is only this solution, because you add a 0 or minus 0 is just same. It's one solution. So this is one solution, one real number, one real solution, one real number as solutions. Actually, it's a rational solution, one rational solutions, because of fraction. Now, if less than 0, if this b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, take square root, become a complex number, then that is going to be two imaginary solutions. Complex number as a solution. Sometimes some books say complex number, but complex number including real number. So if in order to be specific, we just say two imaginary solution. You can say two complex number as solutions. So use this b squared minus 4ac to determine how many solutions and number and the type of solutions to do. Let's try example. Question example here. Your homework question is question 4 is this one. Example, this one. X squared minus 5x plus 9 equals 0. And how many solutions and the type of solutions determine. So A equal 1 is leading coefficient is 1. B equal -5. C equal 9. 1, -5, 9, including negative sign. Figure out delta. B squared minus 4ac. So B is -5. Put it in parentheses. -5 quantity squared minus 4 times A is 1, C is 9. So equal 25 minus 36 equal -11. That's less than 0. Less than 0. Then you will answer there are 2. Question asks you how many solutions. here has two solutions. If less than 0, then it's two complex number. Better say imaginary. Two imaginary solutions. Two imaginary solutions. So question